By the end of this lesson, you will be able to save data in a test case and then later recall that data in the same test case. An important part of testing is making sure to save and reuse values that the system under test has provided us. This is to make the testing and verification as flexible and resilient as possible. For example, creating a billing document will generate a billing document number. Also, the accounting document will generate a sales revenue amount. That means it is important to save the billing document number as well as the sales revenue amount. This would allow us to use those saved values generated by the system in any subsequent steps, instead of using hard-coded data. The ActionMode buffer can be used to save any type of value during the execution of the test case, to be used later on in the same test case. Let's look at an example for the ActionMode buffer in Tosca. Let's say after creating a billing document in SAP, we want to verify that the sales revenue amount calculated in our accounting document is the same as the value displayed in the controlling document. In this case, we will look at the accounting document and store the account sales revenue value as a buffer, which we can then use in a later step to compare to the controlling document. We then choose a name for the buffer. This is a variable name behind which we store our value to recall later on. It's best practice to give recognizable names to these buffers. However, it is essential that when we reuse it later on, we type the name exactly as we've defined in the buffer, with the exact syntax and capitalization. Here, we will use the name amount sales revenue, capital A, S and R, and no spaces. We then set the action mode to buffer. If we run the test step in the Scratchbook, we get a message saying that the buffer was stored. In the menu, under Project, Settings, Engine, Buffer, you can see all the buffers you have stored. Important to remember, every time you run that test step, the value will be overwritten by the new value. So if the value changes in the application, our buffer value will also change. Please note that buffers should only be created and used within the same test case to ensure we're using the same value. Additionally, these are only saved locally, so we cannot expect different users to pass buffered values to each other across multiple runs. To share values across tests and testers, Tosca uses the Tricentis Test Data Service. You can find more information about Test Data Service in the course Test Design Specialist Level 2. To recall a buffer value in the test case, we use the syntax curly bracket b, square bracket, buffer name, and close both brackets. So in our example, we would write curly bracket b, square bracket, amount sales revenue, and close both brackets. Thanks to this expression, you can now call up a buffer value, either to verify or to input it somewhere else in the system on the test.